How are we, like, supposed to do that or whatever? One of the gossip girls asked. You just need to do what you do best. Find the gossip, find the dirt. You ballet dancers sneak around all day and try to catch them in the act. Debate kids, you grill everybody you come across. Nosy kids, you spy on everybody and anybody. Look for inky fingers or magnum-sized bulges in backpacks. And all of you, just keep your eyes and ears peeled. If we all do this together, then we will find out who it is, I said. They stood there looking at me. Okay, you can all go and earn your money now. And clapped a few times. The group slowly dissipated. I turned to Vince after they were all gone. What do you think? I think I'd like some peanut butter ice cream right now, he said with a concerned look on his face. I smiled. I'm serious, Vince. Do you think they have a chance? I'm serious too, Mac. I love peanut butter ice cream. I laughed. Honestly, Mac, I'm not so sure if they do have a chance. I think you should look into getting some extra help, he said. Leave it to Vince to give it to me straight. I wasn't sure what else I could do, but Vince had a way of always being right. That was both annoying on one level, but also super beneficial to the success of our business. What do you have in mind? I think you need to think outside the box. Do something drastic. The normal tricks might not be enough for a problem this difficult. I look at him and raise my eyebrows. You mean? I started. Yep, I think you should go talk to Tyrell Alishus, because I think this is going to be a make it or break it thing for our business. We're paying these kids a lot of money, and this is a high-profile gig. No reason to hold back now. Vince turned and hopped inside the large tire to rework our books. Just like that, Vince had casually suggested a course of action that would drastically change the face of our business for the better for years to come. That's why whenever we disagree on something, I usually end up coming around to his argument. In the end, I wasn't sure just how make it or break it this case was, but it definitely was the most massive and expensive mission I had ever undertaken. And Vince almost never steers me wrong, so I took his advice and went to see Tyrell. Tyrell Alishus is the kid obsessed with spying on people and lurking in the shadows and stuff like that. Most kids avoid him because they think he's a creepy weirdo, and he avoids most people because you can't be a spy if you're always being seen. His idols are Nancy Drew, James Bond, some guy named Shaft, and two dudes called the Hardy Boys. I understand why a lot of kids avoid him. He is pretty strange, but Vince and I knew better. I spotted him in the bushes out near the faculty parking lot that afternoon recess. Hey, your name's Tyrell, right? I said. His head popped up from the bushes like a gopher with one finger pressed against his lips. Then he motioned for me to join him. I climbed back to where he was, wedged between the bushes in the school building. I need your help, I whispered. I had no idea why I had to be quiet, but I didn't want to mess up whatever sort of sting he had going on. You're that problem solver guy, right? MacGyver? He whispered back. Yeah, he nodded. I thought you might be looking for me. How'd you know? I asked. I heard you were starting a task force to track down the graffiti ninja, he said. But I only started this morning. How could you know? I asked. Because I was there, he said. But... He smiled. Then he shook his head. The first thing you need to know is I'm only seen when I want to be seen. I knew right then that this kid and I were going to have a long, successful business relationship. I filled him in on what I needed and told him what the pay was for the job. He accepted without a moment's hesitation. I paid him more than anybody I had ever paid before, which I knew was risky, but without risk, there's no reward. Or, as Vince's grandma said once, without risk, there's no such thing as yakushka. And this time, the risk paid off. Tyrell took to the challenge like my godfather Bruce to a bottle of moonshine. Slowly but surely, the other kids on the task force began to bring me information. It was little things at first. The graffiti ninja was supposedly a sixth grader. She was a girl. She struck only during lunch and before school. But it was Tyrell who busted the case wide open, just like I knew he would. I still don't know how Tyrell did it, but he somehow got an actual photograph of the graffiti ninja drawing a picture on the gymnasium floor. I remember how my jaw dropped when he showed me the photo inside my tire. How did you get this? I asked. Sorry, Mac, but I can't reveal my methods, he said. I looked at the photo again. It turned out the graffiti ninja was a sixth grader named Skylar Kushel. People usually called her Koosh because her name is funny, and that's what kids do when people have odd names. She's a pretty quiet kid, not too popular, but not a complete dork either. She just kind of blended in with the crowd. I called a meeting with her and made a proposal. I would help her make money off her talents if she agreed to stop drawing on school property. I wouldn't even take a cut of the earnings. She agreed, and I set her up with a business selling personalized drawings to kids. Man, did she make a lot of money selling those things for a few years. She's in high school now, and I heard that she already has a few art schools that have been in touch with her. You'd think that the teachers might recognize her style, and maybe some even did, but in the end, they had no proof that the graffiti ninja was her, so there was nothing they could do anyway. Besides, teachers never suspect the good kids of troublemaking, which is partially why Vince and I are able to get away with running our business right under everybody's noses. Anyways, back to the janitor. After I made the deal with Koosh, I sent a message home with the janitor's son asking his dad to meet me. Still, I was kind of surprised when he showed up. I figured he thought I was too young to help him. Hey, thanks for coming, I said as he wedged himself inside the tire. Yeah, my son said you had news for me, he said. I do. I found our graffiti artist, I said. Really? The janitor asked. I could tell he was skeptical, but there was also a glimmer of hope in his eyes. And I got her to stop drawing all over the school. He was silent. He looked at me and shook his head. Then he let a huge smile spread across his face. Right then, I could tell he's not like the other adults at school. You serious? He said. I nodded. Now it's just a question of payment. Well, I have money, but I think that I can offer you something a little more valuable. I'm listening, I said. Well, there's this bathroom in the east wing. It's missing a toilet, has some plumbing problems, and is way back by the old band room, which is just a storage room now, so hardly anybody ever uses it. I still don't know why they even put a bathroom back there in the first place, but I stopped asking the administration these types of questions a long time ago. It's like asking a gerbil to explain quantum physics. Anyways, I was going to recommend to the school that the bathroom be closed down permanently, but I think it might be a better use to you. Think of it as your new office. What do you say? He smiled, a set of keys dangling from his hand. Are you serious? I said. I didn't think adults could be this cool, especially not ones who work for the school. I sure am, Mac. You're saving me a huge headache by getting that kid to stop drawing on the school. It's the least I can do. Deal. I took the keys and shook his hand. The East Wing bathroom is a safe place to have an office because really the janitor is the only school official ever to go in that bathroom. Dickerson never would because of his unfortunate toilet seat incident, and the other teachers have their own cleaner, bigger bathrooms in the teacher's lounge. So I'm free and clear, and the students don't complain either. Our business helps them out, and like I said before, squealing is not allowed here. The best part was that once word got out that I had orchestrated the unmasking of the graffiti ninja, our business doubled. So that's how the janitor and I started our business relationship. He still comes to me for help from time to time to get kids to stop putting gum under their chairs and stuff like that. So I can get pretty much any key I want from the janitor, no problem, no questions. But that's kind of what made this particular mission so dangerous. We got caught in the school because before it opened, I could potentially get the janitor fired and us expelled, which would be about the last thing I'd ever want to see happen.